Hey, good morning, friends. It's Terrific Tuesday. Are we ready? Let me move this up just a smidge. Feels awfully close. So, today I'm going to be working on little spring granny squares. Aren't they pretty? So, so pretty. So, a while back, I worked on, let me get some of these off the hook here so we can actually see what we're working with here today. So, a while back, I made some of these delightful daisy granny squares. And I made them in all different colors. Well, I shouldn't say all different colors, several different colors. Hey, little wise owl, Debbie is here. Good morning. Hey, Leah, good morning. And what I was thinking the other day, well, number one, I'm tired of making daisy squares and I don't have enough for a full blanket. So, what I thought I would do is, what if I took all of the colors and I just made some regular old granny squares. Now, I know it's a lot of color changes, but I thought it might be kind of nice if I kind of put these in a blanket together, so it would kind of be like that. So that is what I'm working on today is I'm making these little multicolored, just regular old granny squares. So I think it'll be kind of a fun project. Karina is here. Good morning. Angie, how are you? Susan, good morning. Miss Mary is here. Randa, Valdox, Kimberly is here. Hey, Pam, good morning. So, y'all, I have to, this needs audience participation today because we have to take the colors that, and you guys are going to tell me what color to make. So we have lavender, pink, blue, yellow, mint, and peach. Did I get them all? There's a total, oh, and yellow. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 colors. So I think the mods will help us with some voting polls over here on TikTok. Now, if you're watching me on YouTube this morning, you're just going to have to shout it out there in the chat. Let me get some of these back on the hook so I can get my lap clean here so I can actually do some work. But we need to figure out what color. Yeah, you get to pick. I know some of you have messaged me when your kids watch me in the morning how much the kids like to pick the color too. So if you got your kiddos watching before you go to school, today's the fun pick'em day, which everybody loves. So I'm going to start this out. And I'm going to go ahead and start with pink, okay? And then next round, we'll do some voting and you guys can all do the picking of the color, okay? But let's get this granny going. Let's get this granny going on this terrific Tuesday. I'm ready. Okay, so I start my granny squares with a magic ring. Can everybody see me all right? Am I lined up here good? Now, you don't have to do a magic ring. You could totally do a chain of 3 or 4 with a slip stitch and do a ring that way. Now, the way I make my magic rings is I draw down a loop and I crisscross them, and then I hold this little loop here in my hand. Now, I'm going to do a double crochet into this magic ring. So I start out, I wrap my yarn around twice, and I go down into the ring, and I'm working over the loop and over the tail, very important. And I drop a loop. So now I have 3 loops, yarn over, pull through 2, and yarn over, pull through 2. So that is like a standing double crochet here into the center. Now, again, very important, work over your tail because at the end, you'll be able to cinch this kind of closed. A lot of creators forget to mention to work over the tail, okay? So yarn over, we need 2 more double crochets. We're going to make little granny clusters this morning. And in my corners, I like to chain 2. So I do 3 double crochets, chain 2, again, working over that tail, 3 double crochets. Wow, you guys already knocked out that gift goal. Thank you guys so much for the gifts this morning. Y'all are on fire. We've already got taps happening here. Goodness, goodness. Hey, Marcia, good morning. Marcia says, good morning, April and Crochet family. Hello, Mama Wheeler. I used my granny square yarn to make the steadiest snow. Let the colors fall wherever. I love that study of snow. I'm going to be working on the study of snow on Thursday. I have a new cardigan I'm working on, and I'm using the study of snow pattern. So it's going to be kind of different, but kind of exciting. Thank you guys all so much for the gifts and all the heart me's I see coming in this morning on TikTok. Appreciate you. Okay, so chain two, this becomes a corner. And now we need 3 double crochets right back down into that magic ring. Again, working over that tail. Now we've done 3 sides of our little granny. Chain 2, and now again, 3 more. This is the last side. And can we get a poll going? You guys, I'm working fast here this morning. So let's do some voting for the next round as I'm finishing off this little row here. Now I'm going to join, I chain 2 for the last corner, and then I join with a slip stitch into the very corner of that first stitch. Okay, and now I'm going to chain 2 and snip off. I chain 2 just so it's kind of a little sturdier of a knot. Snipping off. Snip, snip. Hopefully I don't do a bad job of losing my scissors all day today. I kind of feel like that's happening. Hey, Mom, good morning. I put a lot of new stickers in the little sticker gallery for all our subscriber friends. Now, we worked over this tail. So what I do is I turn my square over, and I kind of hold my thumb here, not super tight, but I just kind of apply some pressure here. And I pull my magic ring kind of closed. Okay, so I cinch that up. Now, what I will do is here's the poll up here, guys, on TikTok. Let's vote for a color if you want. Here are the different color choices: yellow, blue, pink. Obviously, we did pink. I don't want to repeat 2 colors on one square. That's the only caveat here, guys. So 4 different colors of every row, okay? Lavender, blue, yellow, mint green, and the peach color. Okay, so every row, we're going to do 4, gets a different color. You tell me, what do you want to see next? Here's the little pink we just finished. As that poll is wrapping up, what I was going to say is I will then weave this tail around the center here, and I'll do that several times. I'm not going to do it on the live because it's rather time consuming. Okay. So next color by a landslide is lavender. This lavender I'm using today is Big Twist lavender. I've just kind of used an assortment of colors that I had on hand, but this lavender is by Big Twist. I'm going to start with a slip knot on my hook. Okay. Now I'm going to choose a corner to start working in. I'm going to work in this corner right here. Now I ended my square here. And so I'm going to put this tail backwards like this, and I'm going to start with a standing double crochet into the corner. I'm going to work over this tail and into the corner. So the way I do this is I secure the tail. You can see I've got it pinched here, and then I'm going to wrap my yarn around once. So now I have 2 loops on my hook. Hey, Jennifer McBee, good morning. Venus Crafts is in the house. Now I'm going to put my hook through that chain space, twist my hand forward, and now I'm going to hold the tail with this thumb. I still have those 2 loops. If you let go of the tail, what will happen is that will spin off and you will be back to 1 loop. Okay, so then I draw up a loop. Now we have 3. Yarn over, pull through 2, and yarn over and pull through 2. So that is our standing double crochet. Now, if you don't feel comfortable doing a standing double, you certainly don't have to do that. You could do a chain of 3. You could do a stacked single crochet, would totally work in this case. But we need 2 more double crochets into this corner space. Now, I kind of have to scoot these over sometimes. Chain 2. And right back down into this space, we need 3 double crochets. Okay. Now, when I work the sides here, I don't do any chains. I just move directly to the next corner and I start my next grouping of double crochets. So again, 3 double crochets, chain 2, and 3 double crochets. Again, moving to the next corner, we're going to repeat that. So this now is our new corner in each one. Could we get another poll going? What color will you choose for the next row? Again, we have mint, peach, yellow. We have blue to choose from. There's a total of 6 colors. We're going to do 4 different colors for each square. So now I don't chain here. I move to the next space here. Again, repeat 3 double crochets. Veronica, good morning. Thank you so much for the gifts. Poll in upper left corner right here if you want to vote on the next color on TikTok. 3 double crochets. Here's number 3. And now I'm going to get that tail out of my way. I'm going to move to the first stitch that I did here, the standing double, and I'm going to join with a slip stitch into the corner. Now, some people will end their granny squares right here and snip off, and that's where their tails will kind of end. The way that my grandma taught me to do it is to actually slip stitch into this corner here. And so I just do a little slip stitch into each of these stitches. Again, you don't have to do this. And that way my tail is going to be in the corner. So when I go back to weave in my ends, it'll be right there handy and it'll be easier to cover it up. So, did you guys see the new stickers I made for the subscribers? Thank you to all the subscribers, by the way. I made some new fun ones. Hopefully you can see them all. So I tighten that down, and now you can see we've got our tails here. So the way that I work this tail in right here, we'll do that since the poll is still going with 27 seconds. 27 seconds left to vote. I get my little darning needle and slide my yarn onto this little guy. Then this is kind of up here. So what I do is I work under a few of these loops and I kind of wrap around, and then I go under these stitches and I pull my yarn through. Now we're not going to weave in a lot of ends on the live, but I figured I would show one just so you guys can kind of see. Then what I do is I go under these stitches here a little bit and kind of secure my yarn. Then I go back the other direction. Now, as I'm going through, I'm not sliding under these stitches. I'm trying to split the fibers. And what I mean by that is when you're looking at a strand of yarn, you have multiple strands that this is comprised of. So rather than just go underneath, I'm trying to put my needle through those fibers, if you can see that. And that will help it to kind of grab on as we're weaving in our tails. Now, I did knot this when I was finished, so it's definitely knotted as well. I kind of go under these 2 loops here. Then I go back through again, and I do a minimum of 3 times. Sometimes I do even more than that. Okay, and so I just kind of weave back and forth like this, again, trying to split those fibers to secure that tail. And then I give it a little snippety snip, snippety snip, snip, snip. Mint green is the winner. Winner, winner, chicken dinner. Okay, so here's where we're at right now. So now we're going to start with the mint green. I love doing these squares when they're all fun colors like this. It's so much work to weave in the tails, but for me, it's kind of worth it. Every now and then I need a little project like this. So I start with a slip knot on my hook. The way I make my slip knot, I bring down a loop so that it's crisscrossed. I put my hook through the loop. I grab a loop and bring it down. And I'm holding this. As I pull this up, I pull this down. I like hold it. And I get myself a little slip knot. Okay, now I'm going to work into the corner here. And again, I'm going to start with a standing double crochet. So I wrap my yarn around. Hey, Joan, good morning. Tammy, how are you? Kim Taylor's in the house. I go down into my work through the corner, twist my hand forward, bring this tail, and I let this guy, this thumb now, he has to hold on to that. Grab up a loop. So now we have 3 loops. Yarn over, pull through 2. and yarn over and pull through 2. So there is our standing double crochet. Now, if you can't do a standing double crochet, you could again do a chain of 3. Some people like a chain of 2. Some people like a stacked single. There's no rules in crochet. No rules. You do what you prefer. So into the corner, we're going to do 3 double crochets, chain 2, 3 double crochets. Queen 530 is here. Good morning, Queen. Now, I'm not going to do any chains. I'm going to move right here to this next space, okay? This is the side of the square, and I'm going to do 3 double crochets. Okay, so now we're going to move here to the corner again. Into the corner, we need 3 doubles. Da, 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 da. Are we voting for the next round? You guys know I'm kind of fast. I'm kind of fast with these squares. We still can choose peach, blue, or yellow. 3 colors left to choose. What will it be? What will it be, I ask you? There's another corner. Move to the next space here. Again, double crochet. Seeing lots of new followers pop up. Welcome to my channel. If you are new, my name is April. I'm a hobby crocheter, and I come on live every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday mornings at 7:30 Central Time. I do work full time, and I hop off at 9:30 so I can go. I work remote in Arizona. I live in Northeast Alabama. And so, anyhow, welcome to all of our new friends. This is not just about me here in little crochet land, it's about all of you guys as well. So, we have a fabulous group of folks here. Poll is in the upper left hand corner if you'd like to vote on TikTok with what the next color is going to be. We have yellow, blue, or peach. Yellow, blue, or peach. So, here we are in the corner again. 3 double crochets, chain 2, 3 double crochets. Now, some people like to do a chain in between their little clusters as they work the sides. If you like to do that, that is totally fine. The way that I do it is I just skip from this double crochet right into the space and 3 double crochets. I don't see a pole. It's right up here in the corner. If you're watching on the FYP, you're going to have to hop in to see the poll. Come on in. We don't bite. Welcome, welcome. We would love to have you here as we're making our little spring granny squares. Now I'm going to join with a slip stitch into the first stitch. And again, working my way into the corner. You don't have to do that, but this is kind of the way that my grandma taught me. And once I'm to the corner, I snip off and I'm going to change colors again. 15 seconds left of the poll. I don't see a poll, nothing there. Um, my spot, maybe exit and come back in. Maybe refresh your TikTok feed. Maybe it's locked up or something. Somebody said, Emma said, massive prayers for those going through or about to go through these tornadoes I heard about. Oh, thank you, Emma. Yeah, there's big storms coming. We're going to have storms tonight. I think it's supposed to hit our area about between like 8:30 and 9 is when we're supposed to get the storms. So it looks like peach is the winner, 35%, 57 votes. Thank you guys all so much for voting. It just is a kind of fun thing when we do Granny Square Day. So I like to let you guys tell me what to do. You get to boss me around a little. I know you guys all like that. You like to boss April around a little. Okay, so I'm going to start with a slip knot on my hook. And again, we're going to do a standing double crochet in the corner. The way I do this is I hold the tail here with my thumb and my little pointer finger. I wrap my yarn around once. I go down into the corner space through the chains. I put my hand forward and I transfer the job of holding the tail to this thumb. Now, what'll happen if you don't secure this tail, it will spin off on you when you go to pull up your loop. See how it spun off? And now I'm down to 2 loops. So that is why you have to secure the tail when you do a standing double. Okay, very important. So again, I kind of secure it here, wrap around once, go down in, twist my hand forward, let this thumb do the job of holding the tail now. We have 2 loops on our hook, grab up another loop. Now we have 3, yarn over, pull through 2, and yarn over and pull through 2. So again, there's our standing double crochet. We're going to have a total of 3 double crochets. Here's 2 and 3, chain 2, and again 3 double crochets. Now once I move to the side of the square here, we're going to have 2 sides. So in the sides, we're only going to do 3 doubles, 3 and 3. And I don't do any chaining or anything. I just move right to the next space and I pop in 3 double crochets. Move to the next space, 3 doubles. This is a nice color combo you all selected. I'm loving it. I'm loving it. It's hard to go wrong with these colors. Jeanette says, wishing it was Friday. Girl, you and me both. Yesterday was a rough day at work, let me tell you. It started out rough and it just continued rough all day. And Mina, good morning, said, this is gorgeous. Thank you so much. I love a good granny square. I love to get my granny on, my little granny square on. So I know you guys do too. Okay, so there's our corner. Now, again, moving to the next space here, we need 3 double crochets. So if you guys want, you could think about what color we're going to do for the center of the next square. We have the colors we just worked with, pink, lavender, mint, and peach. And we also have blue and yellow. Here's the blue and yellow. Okay, so we're going to start a new one of these as soon as I get done with this one. And we have a little time for story time. So as I'm working this last outer row, y'all want some story time? You want some diesel story time? Some of you saw the video. Oh, anvil size I9. I9. Poll is in the upper left-hand corner. We're going to start another square. Get your vote in. So diesel story time. Some of you guys saw a video that I posted, but like I said, yesterday was kind of a rough day at work. I didn't make it out of my office a whole lot. And so anyhow, I came out to take a lunch break, and my lunch break was like, I don't know, 2:30 Arizona time, which is like 4:30 Alabama time. My schedule gets a little wonky because I work in Arizona, but I live in Alabama. It makes for kind of a long day. But if I didn't work in Arizona, I wouldn't be able to spend this quality time with y'all. So anyhow, I come out of my office and lo and behold, I immediately see from the chair where I'm sitting here, yarn is stretched across, and I'm doing the little Inspector Gadget. Where is the yarn going? Do to do. Follow the yellow brick road kind of thing. And there's Mr. Diesel sitting there with a little scrap of yarn. He has gone out the doggy door, back in the doggy door, back out the doggy door, and back in the doggy door again. And he's got the yarn like over his tooth in his mouth, looking at me like, "What, mom? What's wrong?" So anyhow, I did take my camera because I knew, okay, here we go, little Diesel. I'm gonna show you to all my friends, all my crochet friends are gonna get to see your antics. So anyhow, that was my afternoon yesterday, and I swear, our floors. I don't know if you guys have dogs like this, but our floors get so trashed during the day. He brings in every stick in the yard that he can find through the doggy door. He loves to run down to the pond and then jump in the pond, and then of course he's all wet. He comes inside, tracks up the floor with all his muddy prints. It's part of having a dog. And he chews up the sticks in the house. And, I'm in my office. I'm kind of oblivious on busy days to all of Mr. Diesel's antics. This is part of having a dog. It doesn't upset me. I don't want you guys to think that I'm somewhat amused by it. And I think it's funny because Mr. Wheeler, when he comes home, he gets to see all of the aftermath of what his son has done all day. So the first thing he did yesterday, he's grabbed the broom and started sweeping the floor. And then I get off work. Mr. Wheeler gets home at like 5 Alabama time. I have to work till 7, so I'm in my office for another 2 hours. I come back in and I'm like, I thought you swept. And he's like, I did, but there's already another whole stick chewed up. Hey, Caroline, good morning. So anyhow, okay, next color. There's my diesel story time. Lavender. So we're going to start another square here. Now, I am outlining all of these squares with white, okay? And I'm going to come back. I'll do that off of the live. Let's just do the fun colors today because there's no rules. We can do whatever we want. But what I'm doing, for those that are just joining on, so you kind of have an idea. A while back, I made these little, these are the Delightful Daisy granny squares. You can find this video on the link tree. Also, it's over on my YouTube. If you're not following me on my YouTube, my handle over there is Wheeler 8 Acres, and you can see how we made these squares. But we did all these colors of squares on the live. I'm sure you guys remember them a while back. And so what I thought is, number one, I'm kind of tired of making the daisies. I have a whole clip of them here. Okay. So we've made quite a few of them. I've made some offline, without y'all being here on my couch with me. Um, but I thought, wouldn't it be kind of cute if what we did is made some just variegated squares to kind of go with the daisies for my blanket and kind of like staggered them. Can you guys visualize that? I think it'll look really pretty, right? And just kind of mix and match them all up. So that's what we're doing today. I'm not doing the daisies. You'll have to watch that on the YouTube if you want to learn how to make these. But we're just making the little granny squares, and we're doing 4 different colors for each one. And we have a total of 6 colors. Now I'm using a size I9 hook. So let's start another square here. Let me put this away before these all go flying all over the floor and I have a huge mess on my hands. I got to have my working space here. I like these little knitting. I don't know what these are called. I get them off the Zon, but they're really great to kind of hang on to the granny squares as I'm kind of making them. And the other thing I like to do too is I make up a whole bunch of centers. So you can kind of see the other day I was sitting here on the couch and I got a whole bunch of centers going. Now, today we're going to do them from scratch. But when I work on my squares, sometimes I just work, um, I'll do a whole bunch of centers and then I'll do the next. Oh gosh, 19 comments. Let me catch up here, guys. Sorry, I'm falling behind. Uh, I cannot get over how perfect your crocheting looks every day. Beautiful stitches. Oh, Crystal, thank you so much. It just takes practice and time. It's one of those things. I've been crocheting for 41 years. So if just with a little time and practice, and I made granny squares for probably the first 20 years of my crocheting. So it comes to me rather easily. Um, okay. Hey, Tammy. Good morning. Rosie's in the house. Hey, Rosie. How are you? Yamo Llama. Are you related to Leaping Llamas? Just curious. The daisies are gorgeous. I need to make some. I'm totally kidding. Our friend Leah, her handle is llamas as well. So let's see. Stormy said that's going to be so pretty. Thank you, thank you. Yeah, I love the giant pens. Carla's here from Montana. Hey, Carla. Donna is here. Shh, my secret cousin. All right, all right. Yes, a 5 millimeter I9 hook this morning. Hey, Wilbur, how are you? A good evening or good night. Okay, guys, I'm going to start another center. Okay. Now, you don't have to do a magic ring for granny squares. Some people prefer not to do a magic ring, and that's totally fine. Kay is here from New Orleans. Hey, Kay. Sharon from OKC, Oklahoma City. Um, what I do is I bring down a loop and I put a little crisscross here in my loop. Okay, I'm going to make my magic ring. This is the April style magic ring. And so it might be a little different than some of the other magic rings, but I like to rebel it up a little bit. Okay, so Now what I do is I wrap my yarn around twice. My mission here is I'm going to put a double crochet into this magic ring. So wrap my yarn around twice, bring it down, and I'm going to work over the loop and over the tail. Can you see I have two little pieces there? And I go through and I draw up a loop. Okay. So now we have three loops on our hook. Yarn over, pull through two, and yarn over, pull through two. Now it kind of puts a little long bar here on the back. You can see that stitch. So what I do, I kind of pull on the center ring, not the tail, but the center ring, and I kind of cinch that up a little bit. Now, this is very important. If you're new to the magic ring, some people neglect to give this little tidbit of information, but you need to work over the ring and over the tail. You're going to work over both these strands. And I'm going to do two more double crochets. We need a total of three. Okay, so again, I'm just going to kind of put this tail all the way around as I'm working. Then I'm going to chain two, and again, three double crochets. Now this chain two that I just did, that acts as the corner of our little granny square. So again, chain two, there's another corner, working over both the loops, both the strands, three more double crochets. We're going to do this a total of 4 times. If your tail gets a little twisted, just unwind him. Totally fine. If your center ring gets a little too big and you feel like it's too cumbersome, you could give your tail a little tug and cinch that up a little bit. Make it a little smaller so that it's easier to hold on to. Chain two. All right, guys, let's vote for the next color. Into the chain here, we're going to do three double crochets. Guys, welcome, welcome. It's a very busy live this morning. Um, I am trying to count stitches and watch my stitches here this morning, so I am missing some of the comments because the chat is rather busy this morning. Please, if I missed your comment, do not take it personally. I dearly love each and every one of you, and I am so glad that you are here this morning. Okay, so now I'm going to join with a slip stitch to this very corner, the first stitch that I did, slip stitch, and I'm going to snip off. Okay, poll is here in the upper left hand corner of TikTok. If you would like to vote for the next color, hit that little poll and cast your vote. Now I'm going to secure my tail here with a slip knot, and you can see our little magic ring here. What I like to do is I like to turn this over, and I kind of put my thumb here and secure this hole so it kind of keeps its shape. Okay, I'm not pinching it super tight, I'm just kind of adding some stability. I pull on the little tail, and you can see that little center ring is closing up. Okay, so now it's very important when you are working your magic ring, you have to then weave in your tail, okay? Because you want this not to come apart. The other day I was watching a creator on TikTok, and he was making some squares. They're really pretty flower squares. Come on here. Get on there. Get on there. And he went like this with his square. He went like this. He was making them for his mom and his grandma for Mother's Day. Really beautiful squares. He was kind of using like a macrame cord. It was a thicker strand. And he was using a magic ring, and he pulled it like this and the whole center came undone. So a lot of people do not like to use the magic ring for that reason. If you want, you can totally do a chain of three and a chain or a chain of four with a slip stitch for your very center. But I like to do the magic ring. And so you can see I kind of am weaving around the center of this magic ring. Now, as I go around and around with my darning needle, I'm actually trying to split these fibers, okay? So when you have a crochet or a yarn strand, this is a 4-ply yarn. And what that means is there are 4 strands of yarn that comprise this yarn that have been twisted together, okay? So as I'm working around, I'm not trying not to go underneath all 4. I'm trying to split the fibers. I'm trying to go in between. What that does is it allows for your needle to kind of grab in there, and the yarn will kind of stick to each other and help to hold this together. So you can kind of see right there how I have split the fiber. I don't know if you can see that on the live, but that is what we're trying to do. And I just keep doing that over and over again, working around until I kind of don't have enough to weave in. So it's probably overkill, but that is kind of the way that I like to do this. And this will be the last little go around here. And then after I get this done, I will then snip off the very center part of this, and it should be nice and secure. Now, again, a lot of people do not like the magic ring. That is totally a decision that you have to, a tiebreaker vote. It looks like blue and yellow, or we had a tie. So uh, we have another poll going right up here for a tiebreaker. Okay. So everybody cast your vote. I kind of missed the last vote because I was talking. I was rambling on as April likes to do. Okay, so this is the back of our little square. Here is the front. You can see where I wove in that tail and kind of tightened that up. So now what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to start working in one of these corners after we choose the next color. And you can see where I ended right here with my stitch, okay? So what I do is I like to bring my yarn backwards this way and kind of place it over this corner. This is where I'm going to start. And you don't have to do this. You could start with any corner. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to work a standing double crochet into this chain space, but I'm also going to work over this tail. And that way it'll help get it started with weaving it in. So it'll make it easier when we are done with the square. Okay. While you guys are finishing up your vote, let me scroll back here and kind of catch up on some of these comments. Maggie's in the house. Hey, Maggie, good morning. Y'all, if you are not following Miss Maggie over here on TikTok, I highly recommend you give her a follow. If one of the mods could pin Maggie for me. Maggie goes live at different times than I do. She goes live typically Monday, Wednesday, and Friday evenings. Now, she's had a busy work week, lots of meetings this week, so I don't know that she's going to be on all of those days. But then she also comes on Saturday and Sunday mornings, and a lot of us follow her. She's just absolutely fabulous. So it looks like I am going to be doing yellow is the winner. Yellow, yellow. It was all yellow. Okay. Um, and I am missing some of the comments, you guys. Hopefully, the mods are helping answer some questions this morning. Crystal, good morning. I am making little granny squares. You guys are voting. I'm doing all different colors. Well, I should say six. There's six different colors, and we're mix and matching them. Just fun little spring squares. So the next round is yellow. Yellow, yellow, yellow. I'm going to start with a slip knot on my hook. The way I make my slip knots is I wrap my yarn around and I pull down a loop. So this way it's crisscrossed, and I hold the crisscross here in my left hand. I put my hook through the ring and I draw up another loop through that hole. Now I'm going to pull this straight up as I hold this tail. So I kind of let this go and I pull it straight up, and then you can cinch it down. That is how I learned to make my slip knots. Now, as we make the standing double crochet, it is very important that you secure the tail of your yarn here. Okay, this is the little tail I've got. You can see I've got it between my thumb and my pointer finger. What we do is we wrap our yarn around. We need two loops on our hook. What will happen if you don't secure this tail, you can see it will spin right off and you'll be back to one loop. Okay, so that is why I hold it. I go down into the space. Now you can see my hand is scrunched up here. I'm not in the right working mode. So I turn my hand forward and I transfer the job of holding this tail to Mr. Thumb. If he lets go, again, it will spin off. I draw up a loop, so now we have three loops, yarn over, pull through two, and yarn over, pull through two. So again, that is our standing double crochet. Now, if you do not wish to do a standing double, you could substitute here with a chain of 3. Some people prefer a chain of 2. Some people like a stacked single. All are very, very good options. So, as crocheters, you have to kind of experiment and see which method you prefer. I like the standing double crochet because it is a double crochet and it looks identical to the other stitches. So I do 3 double crochets. This is the corner. Chain 2. Now into this space again, 3 double crochets. Now I'm going to move over here to the next corner space into the chain, and I'm going to repeat this corner over here. Some people like to do a chain 1 here in between their clusters, and I do not do that. So again, this is an area where you need to practice with your crochet and see which method you prefer. But instead of doing a chain 1 there, I just skip right over into the next space, do my 3 doubles, chain 2, this is our corner, and then right into this space again, 3 double crochets. What color are you guys thinking for the next row? I'm curious, curious, curious. Why not put the hook through, then pull the yarn to start? Sherry, you totally could do that. I just learned to do my standing doubles kind of the way that I show. It doesn't make it right or wrong if you have a different method. It certainly would work. Uh, I know. I think it was Jen or Anvil. Gen X or Anvil was like, I can't wrap my head around you twisting your hand the way you do it. That's totally cool. If you have a different method, it's just kind of the way that I figured out, and it kind of works for me. So I try to explain um, what I'm doing. But, again, if there's another method or way that you prefer to do it, totally go for that. If you want to vote for the next color I'm going to do, right up here in the left corner on TikTok is the time to vote. So here we are in our final corner, 3 double crochets, chain 2, and again 3 double crochets. I think one of the cool things about crochet is there are so many different methods and so many ways of kind of doing different stitches and techniques. And, even just with this basic granny square, there are so many different variations of it. The vote options are hilarious. I don't know what the vote options are. I don't know if I can see it. I'll have to wait till it finishes. Blue, blue, blue. I guess one of the mods really wants blue for the poll. Y'all are jokesters. Y'all are jokesters. Okay, I guess it's blue for the next round. We have some smart Alex for our moderators, but you gotta love them. You gotta love them, right? Okay, I'm going to join with a slip stitch. Now, some people will end their row right here. The real poll is up. Okay, I thought you guys were messing with us. I will tell you guys, the polls on TikTok have gotten a little harder to navigate. So I'm teasing our mods, but it is a challenge to get these polls, especially as many as of them as we are doing. They're probably. I told them we were doing this over the weekend, and they were very supportive and like, okay, April, we'll do the polls. But I'm sure on the inside they probably were like, polls. Okay, slip stitch into the corner. This is the way that my grandma taught me to do my granny squares. So we always ended in a corner here. And the reason why we always ended in the corner is because a lot of times I wouldn't change colors. I would just work around with the same, um, different, the same color over and over again. I don't always change colors like this. But now I'm going to snip off so many jokesters in the house today. I love you guys. You guys keep this is why I come on live in the mornings because y'all make me laugh. Okay, so there is round 2. And there's 22 seconds left of the poll. If you want to get on the action. Hazelnut, good day. I like them. I'm from Jamaica. My name is Jackie. Jackie, so nice to have you here this morning. Friends, I've seen lots of new followers pop up. Welcome, welcome. Welcome to the most fun crochet live. You picked the right day to join. Lots of fun here as we work on our stitches, our little granny squares. So let's see. It looks like mint green is the winner. Mint green. All right, here we go. Once again. Now, guys, let's do it different this time. Last time I did a standing double when I started my work. This time let's do like a chain, okay? Or maybe we'll do a stacked single. Thank you everyone for finally voting blue. Okay, so I have a slip knot on my hook here. I'm going to go into the corner and I'm going to do a single crochet. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back under that. There's two loops here, 1 and 2. I'm going to go under the first loop here that's closest to my left hand, draw up another loop. Now we're back to 2 and yarn over and pull through both. That is a stacked single crochet. That is a total acceptable way to. Am I supposed to be doing blue? Maggie said blue one. Am I supposed to be doing mint or blue? Did I totally read it wrong? Oh, you guys, I'm like, what color was it? Did I read it wrong? Blue had 50%. Okay, wait, I'll pull it out. Definitely blue. So we had blue, and then we changed up the poll, so we had all the colors, and then you all voted with blue again. Are you guys messing with me? I'll go with blue if that's what y'all want. Now I believe the center was supposed to be blue. I know, you guys, in a second, you're going to have me ripping it all out, right? Okay. So let's do a stack single here in the corner. So I have a slip knot on my hook. Into the corner, draw up a loop. Now we have 2. Yarn over, pull through 2. There is a single crochet. Now it's not tall enough, so we're going to do a stacked on this. So you have your 2 loops here. We're going to go into the first one here on the left and draw up a loop. Now we have 2 loops again. Yarn over and pull through 2. So now we have a stacked single crochet. That counts as our first double crochet. Now we need 2 more double crochets into this corner. And you can see there how the stacked single looks, if you can see the little stitch there. It looks cool, right? It's a nice finished look. Okay, now we're going to chain 2. Again, this is the corner. So every time into the corner, we're going to do 3 doubles, chain 2, and then 3 double crochets. So there's our little corner. Now I'm going to move and work along the side here and into the very center space here. I'm not going to do any chain or anything. I'm just going to do 3 double crochets. Now, some people, when they make their granny squares, they like to do a chain here in between. So like right now, they would do a chain and then work into the corner. So again, that is a personal preference. You have to kind of experiment with your crochet and see which way you prefer. Chain 2, here we go, back into the corner, 3 more double crochets. My yarn is doing something wonky here. Can you guys see my yarn? My blue? I'm going to have to pull my blue skein out. My blue skein is some fancy red heart. This is an old skein of yarn, I'll tell you what. Where's that tail at? I have to get this tail out of here because it's messing me all up. Here we go. Yeah, this is a really old. This has been in the stash a while, friends. This red heart. But it is a pretty blue, right? What do they call this? Light blue. It's pretty. It's pretty. And I'm almost out of pink. This is all the pink I have left, so we might not have enough pink to do pink on some more squares later on. That's all right. I've got more pink in my room in there. Okay, 1 more blue here into the corner, double crochet. So there is our 3 double crochets, chain 2, 3 double crochets. Now into the space, I do 3 double crochets. And into the corner again, I'm going to try to work over this tail if I can a little bit. 3 double crochets. Guys, thank you all so much for the screen taps. We're almost to 12,000 likes over here on TikTok. Thank you guys all so much for tapping the screen. And thank you for all the new followers this morning and all the gifts. I know I've missed some of the gifts and all the heart me's this morning, but thank you all so much for being here with me as we work on our little granny squares. Kind of a fun day today. I love when we do lots of fun colors. What color are y'all going to pick next? Let me guess. Blue. No. No more blue. So we could choose pink, peach, or mint. Peach, pink, or mint for the next colors. So I'm trying to do a separate color for each of the rows. So that is our next color. Took pink out as an option. Okay, so uh, we could do pink though. We have enough. We have enough pink. We could do pink for an inside row. I have quite a bit here. We could do yarn chicken. I think it's enough. Well, maybe not for an outer row. You're probably right. Gen X is always smart. She's smarter than I am. So now we're going to join with a slip stitch to our very first stitch here. Okay, and then I'm going to slip stitch my way to the corner. Poll is up here, guys, if you would like to vote for the next color as we do the last row of our little granny square. Sparkly Witch says, make it mint. Patricia wants mint. Lots of action for the mint color. I'm going to snip off here. Anyhow, if you are new to my channel while y'all are voting, my name is April, and I'm a hobby crocheter. I come on live every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday mornings at 7:30 Central. Now, this morning I'm also live over on YouTube as well. My handle is Wheeler 8 Acres. So anytime I come on live and make a project, you can go back and rewatch that project over on YouTube. So it looks like mint green is the winner. Winner, winner, chicken dinner. So now let's do the mint color. Okay. Now, one thing you could do here, guys, let me show you another option. Um, when I first got started with granny squares, I would take my yarn and I would actually just tie it on here in the corner. Okay. You could totally do this as well. Okay. If you want to tie it on, then you could do it this way as well if you don't want to do like a slip knot, and maybe do like a chain. So it works out to be like a chain of 3. The reason why I got away from this is I felt like this knot kept showing on my work. And so I would always like be trying to like drag this stitch over top of that. See how I dragged that? But you could totally do that as well. And here is 2 more double crochets. So that first stitch there, the chain, counts as our first double crochet. So we need a total of 3. Chain 2, now into the corner, 3 double crochets. So what do you guys think? What is your favorite way to join on right here? Do you do a standing double? Do you like a chain of 3? Do you do a stacked single crochet? I've showed all 3 ways now. Um, what do you like? What is your favorite way? Funny, thank you so much for the heart me. Hannah's cat is Shadow getting out of hand. Hannah said, "Someone please ground my cat." Hannah's cat's name is Shadow. Apparently, Shadow has been hanging out with Diesel, and they're both grounded. Uh, Gen X said, stacked single is my go to. I missed the standing double, but I'd love to learn. All right, Nay, on the next one, I will do a standing double. I prefer the standing double. KS said, I've always done a chain of 3. See, everybody has their own like way of doing it. That's what's so cool, right? Kimberly with the beautiful cake, level 9. Guys, if you are sending heart me's and gifts over here on TikTok, make sure you click on the little heart up here in the corner and collect your gifts. Okay, so collect your gifts. Make sure you're tallying those up as part of the fan club, okay? That's how you get your points. They used to auto collect, but now you have to actually collect them yourself. So make sure you're not forgetting to do that. Dory became the 65th member of the fan club. Thank you, Dory. Marie with the heart me. Thank you, thank you. Samantha, good morning. How are you, friend? Cozy Crochet, number 69 of the fan club. Lots of heart me action this morning. Lots of screen taps, almost to 17. Wow. Y'all, thank you so much for all of the taps. Amber is here. Good morning, Amber. How are you? Just a Gen X girl with the heart puffs. Became the number one gifter. Thank you so much, Just a Gen X girl. How are things in AZ? How are things in Arizona? Okay, reset that gift goal. Let me do that. Hook and yarn with the popular vote. Thank you so much. Let's set up a new goal here. What are we thinking? What are we thinking this morning? I'm really sad they took away the squirrel. I really loved the squirrel, you know? Let's do some roses. Let's do some roses. Um let's see. Hazelnut, can we be friends? I am Jackie. My birthday gone on 6th of May. I am 60. Oh, happy belated birthday. Of course we can be friends. Uh, Dedicated Desert Flower said, yeah, Nay, I'm making granny squares this morning. Cherry, I'm going to be making a blanket. Uh, there's a poll in the upper left hand corner here, guys, on TikTok. If you would like to vote for the next color, Delicate Desert Flower said, I'm doing a granny ripple. Nice. Nice, nice. What's the prize for the May giveaway out of curiosity? I was going to do a $25 Amazon gift card. Do you have Amazon there in France, Hannah? I wasn't sure about that. If you're the winner, we could do something else. We could do something else as well. But for all of the subscribers, these are the TikTok subscribers. I think we have like 30 subscribers on the channel here. I like to do a little thank you. And for the month of May, we're going to do a $25 Amazon gift card. And we'll do that towards the end of the month. Leah said, nothing for Hannah. Girl, girl, why do you get her started like that? Jennifer with the level 21 cake. Thank you, Jennifer. Ariel said, those are pretty colors. Aren't they pretty? So we've had a lot of new followers hop on here this morning. Let me finish this square and I'll kind of give you the rundown of what we're doing and what kind of is in my brain. Okay. So I'm going to join with a slip stitch here to the very first stitch. And then we're going to start another granny square. But today I'm making traditional granny squares and I'm going to be turning them into a blanket. Now, all of my squares I still need to outline with white, but we like the Granny Square Challenge here on the live because we all get to vote for the colors and it just becomes kind of a fun, playful day for everybody to get involved in. So it's uh it's a fun day for us. Okay. So here is the little granny square that I just finished. Now, here's the thing. When you change colors this much, you have a oodles and oodles of tails to weave in. So sometimes people don't like to weave in all the tails. If you do a project like this, you just have to kind of know in your mind that you're going to have to come back and revisit that. But what we did, I don't know, like a month ago, I guess it's been, I came on the live. Oh, don't fall. And I made a whole bunch of the Daisy Delight granny squares. Okay. So we made these on the live. You can rewatch this video over on my YouTube. My handle over there is Wheeler 8 Acres. But all of the colors that we are doing today, we made the daisy squares with. So there's a yellow one here too. So here's the yellow. Okay. And I have a whole bunch of these. You can see I have oodles of them. But I got kind of tired of making the daisy squares. So what I thought over the weekend is I should make some regular granny squares. I have kind of a big pile here in my lap. I should make some regular granny squares to complement all of the flower ones that I did. And then I can kind of put them all together to form like a blanket. Can you envision that? And just kind of mix and match all the colors. I thought it would look kind of pretty. So that's what we're doing today. We are making these little granny squares of the 6 colors that I used for the daisy squares. We're just randomly picking the colors and just having a fun day playing around making granny squares. And some people making granny squares is new. A lot of you have made a lot of granny squares over the years. This isn't a new project, but it's kind of fun. And I'm using a size I9 hook today. Okay. So we're going to start another one right now. And what was pink is the winner. Winner, winner, chicken dinner. Let's find the beginning of my pink here. We're a little low on pink yarn. Okay, so the way that I do this is I'm going to start with a magic ring. Lindsay, thank you for being here on YouTube watching this morning. Appreciate you. I'm going to start with a magic ring. Now, you do not have to do a magic ring for your granny squares, okay? What you could do is you could do a chain of 3 or a chain of 4 with a slip stitch. We'll do that on the next square. But over here, we're going to, I yarn over and I pull down a loop. Now, I give myself a bit of a long tail here. Um, that way I can kind of work over that and be able to weave that in. But I end up with a loop that's crisscrossed, and I hold this here with my middle finger and my thumb. Then what I do is I'm going to put a standing double crochet into this magic ring. The way I do that is I wrap my yarn around twice so we have 2 loops on our hook. Then I go down into the magic ring, into the loop, and I also am going under the tail. Very important to work over that tail. Grab up a loop. So now we have 3 loops. Yarn over, pull through 2, and yarn over and pull through 2. Then this has like a little long bit here. So I pull on the little ring and kind of tighten that up a little bit. Now, again, very important, as I'm working these double crochets into this circle, I'm also going to work over the tail. Okay, so we're going to be working over 2 loops. And I'm going to do 2 more double crochets into the very center. Chain 2, and then 3 more double crochets. We're going to do this a total of 4 times. The poll for the next color round, if you would like to vote, is up here in the upper left. Time to vote. What color will it be? Amy said you could do some solid squares for variety as well. Yeah, that is a great, great idea. So I'm going to make this like a lap blanket, kind of like wheelchair size, and make it for a donation. Um, Debbie said, "Welcome to April Crochet and Friends." Yes, all the friends are here today, Debbie. It's so nice. Now, as I'm working this, if my center loop is kind of big, I will go ahead and give this a little tug and kind of cinch that up a little bit. But again, I'm going to be working over both those. And then 3 more double crochets, chain 2, and then I'm going to join with a slip stitch right here into the very first stitch. And then I'm going to go ahead and snip off. If I can find my scissors. Okay. So there is our very center. Now, somebody asked, how do I weave in my tail? So the first thing I do is I give this a little tug and I tighten up the center of my magic ring. Okay, then I get my darning needle. This has a rounded tip on it, and I put my yarn onto my needle. Then what I do is I'm going to work around and around and around until my tail is almost gone. Now, as I am doing this, I attempt to split the fibers. And when you work with a 4-weight acrylic, that's what I'm working with today, it is comprised of 4 strands of individual yarn that is twisted together. So if you were to pull this apart, you can see it's 4 strands. As I work along the middle here, I'm trying not to go underneath, but instead I'm trying to go through the strands. So I'm trying to split the fibers, is what I call that, and it will help to grab on to the very center here. Now, a lot of people do not like to do the magic ring because they've had it come undone for projects. So, again, splitting the fibers is very, very important as you work along. If you do not like the magic ring, what you can do is you can do a chain of 3 or a chain of 4 with a slip stitch, and that can also act as your very center. Okay, so we're on our next square, we'll do a chain of 3 center. That's what I also like to do is the chain of 3. I feel like chain of 4 for me, for my work, is a little too big, but I know a lot of people prefer the chain of 4. Hey, Private, good morning. So there is our very center. So what color do we have next? Did we have a tie? Am I reading this right? Can somebody tell me what the color is for the next round? Did we vote? Did we vote? Mods broke the tie. Lavender is next. Okay, perfect. Fernaz said, "Do you turn your square if you're using the same color?" I do not, and I actually work to the corner, and I don't turn my work. Again, it's a personal preference. I always learned by just continuing to work, so all of the right side stitches are together. And so that's kind of the way that I always have done it. But if you prefer to turn your work with granny squares, you totally could do that as well. Sorry, did you said lavender, right? The mods broke the tie, lavender. Have you worked with fiber fusion glue? I have not. I traditionally try not to, like, if I'm working on a blanket, I try not to knot. But if I'm working with granny squares, I try to knot it because there's so many different rows of color and tails and all that. So I definitely try to kind of knot it. But I typically don't put glue on my crochet. Again, you totally could. You have to make the call as the fiber artist, 23,000. We made it to 20. Thank you all so much for all of the taps this morning. Let's see. Would you show how you continue, please? I've continued my squares, but seems to be going on to the side. Yes, I totally will. I totally will on this next round. I'll pull it out. Okay. So I'm going to start with a standing double in the corner. I hold my tail, wrap my yarn around once. So we have 2 loops on our hook. Go down into the space. Now I'm also going to work over this tail. I forgot to yarn over. We need 2 loops down through the space. Turn my hand, secure that tail, draw up a loop. Now we have 3, yarn over, pull through 2, and yarn over and pull through 2. So that is our standing double. Now we need 2 more double crochets, chain 2, and 3 double crochets. So our corners are 3 double crochets, chain 2, 3 double crochets. Now, if you do not like to do a standing double here, you could do a chain of 3, you could do a stacked single. All of them are perfectly acceptable ways to begin your granny square. So now I'm going to move into the corner space here and yarn over, and I'm again going to do 3 double crochets into this next corner space. Chain 2 and 3 double crochets. And we're going to continue working this into all 4 corners. So we've done half of our square now, and now I'm going to move to the next, and again, 3 double crochets. Does anybody need help making their double crochet? If you could let me know, I will slow down and show you guys how to do a double crochet. Uh, Private says, "Dang, you are fast." I try to slow down on the live. When I get on these rolls with these squares, I tend to kind of speed up because if I'm sitting here on my couch, I go pretty fast. But I could definitely slow down and show how to make a double crochet if anybody needs help with that stitch. Just shout out, let me know, and I would be happy to go over that. What makes the stitch standing? The reason why it's standing is because you end up with your working tail here at the very top rather than down at the bottom. So it actually is standing. You're not tying on in the corner, you're working it. So they just call it a standing double crochet. So let's see here. Into the corner. Again, 3 doubles, chain 2, 3 doubles. Now, while you guys are voting for the next color, yes, Kathy, making granny squares today. It's Granny Square Tuesday. Terrific Tuesday. I'm going to join with a slip stitch here into my corner. Now, if I was making somebody asked how I would continue if I was working this color over and over again, and I do that a lot of times. So you can see, like on these squares, I did multiple rows of the yellow. I didn't tie off. So how I would do that is I would get myself over to the corner. And when I say get myself there, I mean I would slip stitch. Okay. So I go under both loops and then I draw a loop up and then I drag this one under this one. I want this to sit flat to my work. I'm not trying to get any height until I am into the corner. Okay. The way I learned is I always work from this corner. I'm following. This is so cool. Thank you. Thank you. Kathy said, sweet, first time seeing your live. Kathy, I'm so glad. So glad. We've had a number of new followers popping up today. So I'm happy to have each and every one of you here. Crystal just gave a follow. Rachel gave a follow. Thank you guys all so much. So the way I would do this is I would start with a standing double crochet here. Now you could do a chain of 3 as well, but what I do is I pull this loop up. I twist my hook towards me and back away from me, and I put a little twisty in my yarn. Then I go down through my work, through the loops, under the chain, and I grab up a loop. So now I have 2 loops. I yarn over and I pull through the first one. Okay. Normally you would pull through that second one. I'm not going to pull through that second one. I'm actually going to pull around. So I kind of twist my hook. I'm not going through that, and I twist it up and I'm keeping both those loops on my hook. And then I yarn over and pull through 2. Then I would continue with my 2 more double crochets in the corner. So that is a standing crochet or standing double crochet when I already have my yarn attached. So then I would continue on working with the rest of the pattern. Now, some people don't like to do that, okay? What they like to do is instead of working around like this, they will turn their work. And I just don't do that. It's not the way that I learned. But if we take this back, the other way you could do is you could do a chain of 3 here. 1, 2, 3. Then do your double crochets. So that chain of 3 would count as your first stitch. That's totally acceptable as well. But what we mean by turn our work is when you're working here, you would turn your work over and then you would work back in the opposite direction. And what this does is it becomes the very center of your square. So as I come back around, when I finished this middle stitch here with my 3 double crochets, I would chain 3 double crochets into this stitch. Then I would chain 2 and I would join right here in the middle. So people actually work from the very, very center versus the way that I do it is I start at the very beginning. So I hope that helps to explain that. Yes, Lefty, I am here. Welcome, welcome. So let me snip off the poll. I forgot to mention. Hopefully, you guys all saw the poll, and you're picking the next color. We're gonna snip this off. I don't remember who helped, but uh, oh yeah, was it Fernandez that asked? I do the same work into the corner, but my square still starts slanting. So, are you changing colors with every row? If you are changing colors whatever with every row, what I recommend is whenever I have an opportunity, I will rotate my granny square. So right now I've been working kind of into this corner here with over in the same corner. But what I like to do is turn my work. So pick one that you haven't worked in the past. So you would start, say, here or here. That will help to keep your work looking more square. So anytime you change colors, rotate your yarn. Okay, rotate where your starting point is. Rotate your square around, and that will help. The other thing is that is why people turn their work as well, is to help it stay in the square. Hey Shay, how are you? Grammy said, good tip, April. Okay, perfect. How do you tie off? Bryn, do you have a minute to hang out? I'm going to do another row and then I will show you how I tie off. Mint green is next. Winner, winner. Mint green. Almost 30,000 likes. 29,000. Tippity tap, tap, tap. Look at that. Okay, so I'm going to start with a slip knot on my work. So what I was saying is I ended right here with this corner. Now I'm going to start my next round in a different corner. And right now I'm going to do a stacked single. This is a new way to start it. Okay, I pull up a loop. So I have a slip knot on my hook. Go down into the chain space, grab up a loop, yarn over, pull through two. So we have a single crochet. Now what I'm going to do is you have two loops. I'm going to go under the front loop of this one here. Back through, grab up another loop. Now we have two again, and yarn over, pull through two. This is called a stacked single crochet. This acts as a double crochet to begin. Okay, now I'm going to do two more double crochets. So there is our essentially three doubles. Chain two. Now right back into this corner, I'm going to do three double crochets. Will you show on the next square? Yes, I will show on the next square as I am finishing this round. Friends, there's a lot of action this morning on the live. If you are new to my channel, my name is April and I am a hobby crocheter. This morning we're making granny squares. We have a fabulous group of people here, fabulous group of friends, fiber artists, yarn artists, crochet knitters, you name it. They are all here hanging out, watching in the mornings when I go live. And now I typically go live every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday mornings at 7:30 Central Time. When the chat is fast and furious like this, guys, I do tend to miss some of the comments. Please, if I miss your comment, it is not intentional. We have fabulous mods here. Gen X, Anvil, and Leapin' Llamas, Leah, our friend, is helping to mod this live over here on TikTok, and Jen is helping to moderate over on YouTube. So a round of applause for our moderators. I could not do this without them. They help to answer questions. They help keep me on track. They let me know when it's time to hop off and go to work. But amazing, amazing moderators here. So thank you so much. Appreciate it. Um, and yeah, as I get on a roll with these double crochets, I kind of speed up and go a little faster. But today, you all are calling the colors out to me. So we're doing some voting. The next color for the round, if you want to vote here on TikTok, the poll is in the upper left-hand corner. Tap on the little blue post-it note up there and choose the next color. And hopefully it's not a tie, okay? So as I work this mint green around, I, in the corners, do three double crochets, chain two, three double crochets. Then I work into the next space here and I do three double crochets. Now, some folks like to do a chain in between where they end on the corner and where they begin this next grouping. You could totally do that if you prefer to chain one and then work into your corner. For my squares, I just have never done that. So anyhow, into the corner here, we need three double crochets, chain two, and three double crochets. Miss Rachel is in the house. Guys, our friend Rachel is also a fabulous live crocheter here on TikTok. If you are not following Rachel, I highly encourage you to do so. She makes wonderful amigurumis, and right now she's making a wearable little top. I watched her on the live yesterday. So give our friend Rachel a follow. You will not be disappointed. The yarn that I'm using today is all a medium 4-weight acrylic, and I'm using a couple of different brands. Right now, I am slip stitching into the corner as we get ready to start our next color. I'll be snipping off here. Okay, so people ask, how do you tie off your work? So most of the time, what I will do is I will chain one, and then I will snip my yarn, and I will pull it through and kind of tighten this up. Now, what I have found over the years, particularly with granny squares, is I think this is very easy to come undone. I can easily pull this out and loosen up this stitch, and it is no longer secure. Okay, so what I do now with my granny squares is I will actually chain two. So I have my loop, I chain one and chain two. So you see the two chains there. Then I pull my yarn through. Then what I do is I squish this down, but I pull on this. It's hard to see because I put my fingers on it. And I slide this down with my thumbnail. And what that does is it makes it a very secure knot there. Now, I still can get this undone if I use like my knot slayer or a needle or something. I can still get that undone, but that is how I tie off when I'm doing granny squares. Specifically because granny squares have, in this case, so many different tie-ons and different colored yarns. But today I'm using a 4 medium weight acrylic. There are links on the link tree to the yarns that I'm using. The mint, the lavender, and the yellow, this is the yellow, this one here, are all big twist. And I think it's soft mint, soft yellow, and lavender are the colors. The pink and the blue color that I'm using are both Red Heart Super Saver. So I have these in my stash. The white that I'm using is Red Heart Super Saver as well in the colorway white. And I'm using today a size I9 hook, which is a 5.5 millimeter hook. Now, all of the previous times we have done a magic ring here for the square, okay? This here is a magic ring. When we start our next square, I'm going to do a chain of 3 and do it that way, okay? But we have one more round to work here on our granny square, and the winner was yellow. Yellow, yellow, mellow yellow. So I'm going to start with a standing double crochet. Now, again, you do not have to do a standing double. I try to rotate my square, and a lot of times I don't work where I just ended, okay? I pick a different corner to start with. And, oh, sorry, didn't mean to bump you guys. Had to push up my glasses. I couldn't see. Reset the gift goal. Okay, before I start this round, let me reset the gift goal. Guys, thank you all so much for the gifts and the likes and all the screen taps this morning and all of the new followers and all of the heart me's. So many heart me's this morning. Thank you guys all so much. Y'all are on fire today. Let's do some chili peppers, red hot chili peppers. Y'all are on fire. They need a little flame one. Okay, so here we go. When I do my standing double crochet, I hold my tail, I wrap my yarn around, and I get 2 loops on my hook. I go down into the corner space under the chain, and I hold the tail. I secure it. Then I grab up a loop. So now we have 3 loops on our hook. I yarn over and pull through 2, and yarn over and pull through 2. This is a standing double crochet. Now, if you don't like to do the standing double, you could certainly do a chain of 3 here. You could also do a stacked single. We've done both of those here on the live this morning. All of those are perfectly acceptable. Okay. The reason why I like the standing double is because I don't have to tie this yarn onto my work. The tail ends up here at the top, and it makes it very easy for me to weave it in. So this is our corner, 3 double crochets, chain 2, 3 double crochets. Now again, as you work on these sides, some people like to do a chain 1 here, and then they work their 3 double crochets into this space. The way that I learned so many, many, many years ago is I don't do that chain there. I don't feel like it's necessary. It's an extra stitch that I don't have to do, and so it makes my grannies a little faster. Um, so anyhow, I'm going to pull that back out. Texas Whiskey said, wait, can you start that over, please? The standing double. I'll pull this back out. We will do another standing double. I'm trying to keep up with all the questions, guys. If I miss your comment, please feel free to ask again. Okay, I'm trying to watch the stitches and read all the comments, and there's a lot of people here in the live this morning. We have 14 people watching over on YouTube, but there is upwards of 180 here over on TikTok. So, okay, here we go. Standing double. I'm going to go really slow. I hold my tail. Now, when you do a double crochet, we need 2 loops on our hook. So I have 2. I hold this tail because if you don't secure this, what will happen is that will spin off and you'll be back to 1 loop on your hook. So very, very important, secure your tail. Okay. Wrap my yarn around and we have 2 loops. Now I put my hook under the chain and I bring my my working yarn here, the tail, forward, and I have my thumb hold on to it. The reason why is just how I showed you that spins off. It will do the same thing if I let go of it. But there are our 2 loops. Now we're going to grab up a loop. So now we have 3. Yarn over, pull through 2, and yarn over and pull through 2. This is a standing double crochet. It takes some practice, but there is a video on my TikTok if you want to watch it over and over again. I'll do it one more time for those that are very new to a standing double. I first learned how to make a standing double from Hooked on Sunshine. Vanessa Smith. I love her patterns. And I first learned by watching one of her videos. Now, Nessa doesn't do her own videos. There's another gal who does her video tutorials, but this is where I learned it. And I think I do it the same as she did. I think that's kind of how I learned. But again, secure your tail, hold your tail, wrap your yarn around so you have 2 loops. Put your hook through under the chain. Now move your tail and hold this, okay? Secure that tail. Grab up a loop. Now we have 3. Yarn over, pull through 2, and yarn over and pull through 2. So there is our standing double. So the benefit to doing this is it is identical to a double crochet. It is the same, okay? It puts your tail up here. You don't have to tie your tail into your corner. And it's very secure because we used a slip knot. Now I can move right along and add my 2 more double crochets. Then I chain 2. And now right back into that same corner space, we need 3 double crochets. So there is our corner. Kelly said, does she do videos with her patterns, Hooked on Sunshine? Kelly, all of Hooked on Sunshine are pay patterns, and you have to pay for the videos. So here's the thing. You guys know, most of you know, I don't read patterns. And so I paid for the video. So when I learned how to do the whatchamacallit blanket by Hooked on Sunshine, I paid for just the video. And the video is the same price as the written pattern. I think it was like $6 or something. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong for Vanessa Smith, but she is an incredible, incredible um, pattern writer and just makes beautiful, beautiful blankets. Kirsten, I will do that again on the next. We have to do another center, and then I'll be doing that again. So hopefully, I have some time to stick around. But I really encourage you guys to check out. She has a great Facebook group. I'm not big on the Book of Faces, but uh, Hooked on Sunshine crochet group, you can see other people making the hooked on sunshine patterns, and they are absolutely spectacular. Just the different colors. Show of hands, has anybody made a hooked on sunshine pattern or a blanket or anything? Because you have most of her patterns are like intermediate. Guys, we're going to be making another square from the beginning. If you want to vote for the next color, right up here in the left hand corner on TikTok, vote for the next color. Okay. But I'm curious if anybody has made a hooked on sunshine pattern. I've made them a couple of times, but the only pattern I have done is the whatchamacallit. I really, really love that pattern. I love it for baby blankets. There's a rosebud variation of that pattern where all you're doing is changing to different colors. Rocket Girl said I made Briar Rose so many times. Nice, nice. So Rocket Girl knows she knows what's up. I know, uh, she knows what I'm talking about. So that's cool. Yeah, Hooked on Sunshine. I highly recommend. And that Facebook group is a really good, really, really good group. So anyhow, 38,000 likes and the poll is up, guys. 42 seconds left. If you want to vote for the next color right here, click on that little post-it note. As I'm coming around and finishing this square, we're going to be making another granny square from the beginning. It's Granny Square Tuesday. Got to get our granny on. Wendy said, I tried to make the phoenix, but I am stuck. Wendy, are you on the Facebook group for the Hooked on Sunshine? Because they will help. You can show a picture on that group of where you're stuck at and ask a question, and they will help to answer it for you. They call them the sunshine fairies, I think is what they're called. But they are basically experts that have made Vanessa's patterns. And it really, it's a great group. I can't say enough good things about it. You do have to answer some questions so that you're not like a bot or whatever. So now I'm going to join with a slip stitch into the corner, and I'm going to snip off, and we're going to get ready to start another square. 39.8, almost there. Leah, thank you for the chili peppers. Hot Mama, thank you so much. Faith said, I love the color of your yarn. Blue is the winner. All right, blue. So there is our little granny square we just made. I'm mixing up the colors. So if you're just joining, what we are doing today is we're making lots of fun colored granny squares. I'm going to go back and outline them in white after we're done with the live. Today we're just doing fun colors. Who wants to do boring white on the live? But you can kind of see some of the squares that we have made this morning. Now, when you make granny squares, remember you're going to have a lot of tails to weave in. We'll come back and work on those after. But I'm doing 4 colors, 4 different color rows. Every one of them is different. And what I'm going to be doing is about a month ago, I started working on Wendy said, I am. I'm also lost on the written pattern too. Someday I'll pick it up again. Yeah, sometimes you have to take a break. But the videos are really good. I know spending more money on it when you've already spent the money for the pattern is maybe not ideal, but I really like the gal who does the tutorial. She's very good. So what my thought was is I will put these multicolored squares in with my daisies and make a blanket with it. Can you see kind of the vision here? It's going to be pretty, right? And we have all different colors of the daisies. Now, if you want to make a daisy square, this is dimensional square. We did this on the live, but you can kind of see the flower kind of comes up off the square. It'll be a nice, like fun. What do they call that when you like feel it? You know what I mean? You guys know what I'm talking about? It'll be fun to like have it on your lap, I think. Here's the peach colored one. Oops, all these are falling off my hook. But you can kind of see what we're doing. So if you want to make one of the daisy squares on my YouTube, my handle is Wheeler 8 Acres. There's a category that says videos, shorts, and then live. Sensory. Thank you, Beth. Sensory. It feels very sensory because it's raised up. It's kind of cool. Um, on the live tab is where you will find how to make these daisy squares. So, squirrel totally ran by. What color am I doing next? Um, sorry, I totally missed the poll. Can one of the mods help me out? You guys know these squirrels come by. I get on a tangent talking and I totally space out. Blue. Okay, blue. Thank you, Jen. I can't remember anything for 2 seconds, you guys. Okay, now I've done a magic ring on all of these squares up until this point. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a chain of 3 to start this next square. Let's see. Sorry, I missed one of the comments I wanted to see here. Uh, Somebody had a question about granny squares. Where did that question go? Faith said, any tips for joining granny squares? I've been having trouble with finding something I can do easily. So, Faith, I have a couple different ways that I join my granny squares. I either do a single crochet join or I do a slip stitch join. And there's actually a live of me doing a slip stitch join on my YouTube. And I just actually posted a video this morning on TikTok at like 3 a.m. because I've been up for a while. But you could find that on my TikTok page as well. It's a neon colored granny square. So it's got bright colors like a neon green and orange and everything. So I'm going to start with a slip knot on my hook. And then I'm going to chain 3. Now you could do a chain of 4 here as well. 3. Oh, we hit 40,000. 40,000 likes. Very, very cool, you guys. Thank you so much for all of the screen taps this morning. I really appreciate that. Thank you all so much. I know we're hitting the FYP because there's been so many new followers this morning. And I just wanted to say welcome to all of the new followers. I haven't had a chance to call each of your names out individually, but I really appreciate. There was Moni just joined. I saw Moni popping on. Chantel, thank you so much for the follows, you guys. Really, really appreciate it. Faith says that's where I found you. Nicole said you keep coming up on my FYP. Well, there you go. TikTok can't be wrong, right? So here we go. Chain of 3. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn my work. When you're looking at a chain, one side you have 2 loops on your stitches. The back side you have what we call the back bump. Can you see that little bump there? The way that I like to do this is I like to put my hook under the back loop, the back bump. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a slip stitch. So I pull my yarn forward and then I pull it through my loop here, okay? So this is very tiny in the center here. That's why some people like to do a chain of 4. But I am trying very hard to keep this a very small center. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with a standing double crochet here, or you could do a chain of 3. So let's go ahead and do a chain of 3 here. That counts as our first double crochet. Now into that very tiny space, I'm talking about right here, I'm going to work the rest of my stitches. So I'm going to work a double crochet. After I get the first stitch in there, it kind of opens up a little bit more, okay? Here is number 3, okay? So there is our first group. Subwave. Oh, thank you. Does that mean we have a new subscriber in the house? Uh, this month's subscriber giveaway here on TikTok is a $25 gift card to, it'll be a an email card, but to Amazon, $25 Amazon gift will be for the subscriber giveaway. I've normally given away like blocking boards and all that kind of stuff, but I thought, you know what, this month, let's just do 25 bucks. You guys can pick what you like. And that would be a good way to go. So now I'm going to chain 2. Now, this is very important, guys. As you are working into this center of your chain, I am also working over this tail, okay? And when I get done, this will allow me to be able to close this up even further if I need to, okay? But again, right into that space, 3 double crochets, chain 2, and 3 double crochets, chain 2, and then I join with a slip stitch to my very first stitch. This was the top of the double crochet, or excuse me, the chain of 3. I have to use my thumbnail here sometimes. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and snip off. So there's my slip stitch, and then I'm going to snip off. Okay, so now we have another center. Did we pick a new color for the next round? Cinch this up. Now you can see by doing a chain of 3, my center is very small here. Um, the reason why I like to do the other center, do you see how this is my chain of 3 here? If we look at my other center, this one here, the pink one, is the stacked single. This here is the stacked single. And where is I had one that was this one here, see how you can't really tell my first stitch? This one right here is the standing double. So chain of 3 to begin with. I think this one might be a standing double as well. Peach, I think. 2 more subscriptions in a minute to meet the goal. Guys, don't feel obligated to subscribe. In this economy and everything, I know that funds are tight. And you don't have to give gifts or anything when you're here on the live. I don't want you to feel obligated to do that. I work full time. I have a full time job. And this is my hobby. But a lot of people do like to support me. It helps me to get new yarn and do new projects and everything. So if you would like to subscribe, you most certainly could. Let's see, the next color is peach. Okay, I'm going to get that ready. And I do very much appreciate all of the gifts and the subscriptions. I don't want you to think that I'm not appreciative, but I don't want you to feel like you have to do those things while you're here on the live. I just want you to enjoy crochet, love our group of friends here. Be kind to each other, share your crochet projects, what you're working on. If you're a silent watcher, you just want to hang out and chill in the background, that's totally cool too. So definitely, just enjoy your time here. That's all I ask. Gen X said a time check, 20 minutes. All right, I think I can finish another square in 20 minutes. Can you tell me a group again, the Facebook group for the pattern again? This pattern that I'm working on today is just a granny square. And so if you put on in your search engine granny square, lots of options will come up of how to make a granny square. Now, the pattern I was talking about earlier is by Hooked by Sunshine. Hooked by Sunshine. And the creator is Vanessa Smith. Um, and so anyhow, it's that's maybe that's the one you're asking about. Let's see. Can you okay, answered that. Crocheting a cardigan right now. Chantel, awesome. I'm going to be crocheting a cardigan on Thursday morning. Tomorrow, I am going to be working on a ruffle border of a wheelchair blanket. So tomorrow, we're going to be working on a border, and Thursday is cardigan day. And I'm not doing the traditional granny cardigan. I'm doing a different stitch for the cardigan. Hey, Peach, good morning. How are you? That's it. Okay, perfect, perfect. You're doing a cardigan with Bernat velvet. Wow, fancy, fancy. Okay, so I'm going to start here. Let's do a stacked single. I have a slip knot on my hook. I ended my corner here. I'm going to pick a different corner and I'm going to do a single crochet into that corner. Now we have 2 loops here on our work. I'm going to go into the one on the left. I'm going to go under this front loop, okay? Just the front loop. And I'm going to grab up a loop. So now we have 2 loops on our hook again. Yarn over, pull through 2. This is a stacked single crochet. So I did this in place of a chain of 3 or a double crochet. Hey, crochet with me. How are you? Guys, the poll is in the corner here to choose the next color. Okay. We're not repeating any colors, but we have pink, yellow, blue. We've already done blue and peach. So we're going to have mint, yellow, or pink. Mint, yellow, or pink, or lavender. Lavender for the next round. Okay, so there's our stacked single. We need 2 more double crochets right here into the corner. So we end up with a total of 3 double crochets. This first stacked single counts as a double. Chain 2, and now right into this corner again, we need 3 double crochets. Now I'm going to skip all the way over to the next corner here and again repeat 3 double crochets. Friends, if you need help with your double crochet, give me a shout out. Let me know if you would like me to slow down and explain how to do a double crochet. I would be more than happy to show on the live how I do those. Okay. So feel free if you're needing some extra help. Okay. Now I'm going to skip all the way over to the next corner. And again, 3 double crochets, chain 2, and 3 double crochets. What do you guys all think of Granny Square Tuesday? Are you having fun today? I hope you all are having fun. Uh, Thanks for hanging out with me today, Mom. Mom has been answering lots of questions too. For those that don't know, Mama Wheeler, who you see on the live here, is my mom, and I have been crocheting for 41 years. And my mom taught me how to crochet when I was 9. I'm turning 50 this year. It's a big birthday year for me. The big 50. I turn in June. I'll be 50, and so anyhow, yes, mom is here, and I owe all of this to my mom. Now, I have certainly passed up my mom kind of in my crocheting. My mom does a lot of other stuff. She does embroidery and painting and stained glass, and she plays the Native American flute. My mom is a very talented lady. So I certainly come by this honestly. But this is who I learned to crochet from. So it's kind of cool that my mom comes and hangs out with us in the morning, I think. And thank you, Mom. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being my biggest fan. My mom is my biggest supporter. She loves me and I love her. So it's kind of cool. It's kind of special. Okay, now we're going to tie off. I'm sorry, I totally missed the next color. Was the next color mint? All these squirrels came by today and have been distracting me. So many squirrels. I I get to talking on these lives and then I can't remember what the heck color I'm doing or what I'm doing. Mint green. Thank you. Mint green is the winner. Here we go. Mint green. So, one way you could do this, guys, I'm trying to show a variety of different ways. All of these are perfectly acceptable. But you could tie on in your corner here, okay? So you could tie your yarn on in your corner. When I first learned, I tied on just like this and started my next color. Okay. Now, when I tie on, I try to go in an opposite corner. Just choose one of the others. This will help to keep your work square. Then, what I do is I yarn over, go down in, pull up a loop, and then yarn over and pull through both. And then I do 2 chains. Okay. Then, what I like to do, see how this knot is hanging out here on the right side of my work? What I try to do is I try to pull on my knot as I slide this stitch over. I want to hide that knot in my work. This is what kind of helps me keep my work like clean, and it's kind of hard to do. And this became time consuming for me as I was working on these projects, but I don't want that knot to be hanging out like showing. Okay. So can you see how I kind of pulled that over? Again, you don't have to do that, but that's just kind of one of the little things I like to do. Then I'm going to chain, or excuse me, do two more double crochets. So this stitch right here counts as my first double crochet. Then we do two more and then chain two. Now right back into the corner here. Again, three double crochets. For Naz, I'm actually making a wheelchair sized blanket for these, and it will be for donation. So I'm going to be doing a 35 by 45 size. I don't know how many squares that is going to be. I need to still figure out my diagram and everything. But what I'm doing is I'm putting my daisy squares. This one still has to be outlined, but I'm putting my daisy squares with these squares that we are making today. And I have all different colors of these daisy squares that I made. I made these last month on the live, so you can kind of see all the different colors. So now I'm just making some of these variegated or multicolored granny squares as a complementary so I can sew those together. Eventually, I will be on the live uh, sewing these together. So you'll get to see that. Okay. But that is what I'm going for. Poll is in the upper left corner if you'd like to vote for the next color. Right up here on TikTok, click on that little notepad and cast your vote. 50,000 likes, y'all. Thank you all so much for all of the screen taps. Thank you all so much. I really appreciate that. 50,000 likes. That's a busy day. I think my record, I have to look. My record is like 100 and something from one of the lives that you all tapped 100,000 times. But really amazing. I was watching Musical Chrissy here on TikTok on Friday. I will tell you, in the time that she was on, now she has a lot more people that watch, but I was floored on Friday. I finally messaged to my mom and said, "You got to watch Musical Chrissy." Angela, I'm going to show you how to do a half double in just 1 second, okay? Um, Musical Chrissy, in the time that she was on, she had 2.5 million likes. She was popular number four, I think, on Friday. I was just like, I was mesmerized. She sings Disney songs. And I like to tune into her sometimes. Sometimes I can't watch her for very long, but gosh, could you imagine 2.5? There's not many creators that are that talented. Louise, thank you so much for the heart hands. I appreciate that. Yeah, 2.5 million likes. I was just like, wow. Get it, girl. She's so talented. She does like cosplay. She dresses up like the princesses. She has a full like stage set that she performs on her TikToks. And she has multiple camera views. It's really amazing. Louise said, I just found you and followed. Oh, thank you so much, Louise. I'm glad you found me. Appreciate that. Okay, so somebody wanted to know how to make a half double. Angela, this is for you. I wrap my yarn around. Let me do a double crochet here first. Okay, so this is our double crochet. Just like you do a double crochet, you wrap your yarn around so you have two loops. Then I go down into the space and I grab up a loop. So now we have three. And then I yarn over and I'm going to pull through all three of these. So I'm going to pull this under all three. Okay, let's do that again. Yarn over, right down under, yarn over, pull up a loop. Now we have three. Okay. Yarn over, pull this under all three. That is your half double. So the half double is a little shorter than the double crochet, if you can see that there. Now, this pattern that I'm working on today calls for all the double crochets, but I are all double crochets, not half doubles, but I do half doubles a lot. I'm a half double fan. So you certainly came to the right spot. I hope that helped. Let me know if you want to see it again, and I'll do it some more. Um, if you want to see how to make the daisy square, this is the Delightful Daisy. This is a pattern that I came up with. This is a dimensional kind of square. These little stitches here are popcorn stitches. You can find this on my YouTube. My handle on YouTube is Wheeler 8 Acres. This morning, I'm live on both TikTok and on YouTube. So whenever I go live, you can go back and rewatch those videos. Now, as you're looking at my YouTube profile, you'll see a tab that says videos, a tab that says shorts, and then a tab that says live. Make sure you're clicking on the live. Okay, I do have some videos and some shorts, but most of the time I'm crocheting live with my friends here on TikTok and YouTube. So you can go back and rewatch those videos. Friends, also, if you are new to my channel, I have a link tree on my profile. Okay, so on my TikTok profile, it shows everything that I'm working with today, all of the different yarns. And the different patterns. Now, I didn't put a link to a granny square. If you Google granny square, there are thousands of videos that will help you to make a granny square. Now, if you like my style and you want to go back, you could certainly find this again over on my YouTube live. So I hope that helps. Carol said, I love that. I haven't thought about a wheelchair blanket. So, Victoria, have a great day. Mammy said, I watched a couple YouTube videos. Awesome. Joyful Rosetta is in the house. Good morning. How are you? Um, so, when we talk, my personal mission this year is to make wheelchair blankets a minimum of one a month for donation. And I need to count them, but so far I started in January and I've been able to make more than one blanket per month. And my dad passed away, not Papa Wheeler. Papa Wheeler is technically my stepdad. My mom is remarried, but my biological father, he passed away this last December, and he was a army vet. Okay, so he served. He actually was stationed over in Germany during his service, but at the end, he had cancer and spent a lot of time at the VA center. And my dad was very proud of the fact that um, I made blankets for donation, and both, for veterans or just for people who are like in hospice or in, like medical facilities and stuff. And so, in his honor, this year, I set myself a personal goal to make one wheelchair sized blanket for donation a month. Or more if I could make more. And so that is my personal goal for 2025. So you hear me talk this year a lot about wheelchair blankets, but it makes me feel good to, give back, and hopefully somebody will get this blanket at some point and they'll like it. It's kind of sensory how it has the texture of the daisies. We're going to put these squares with it and I'll sew it together on the live. So that's kind of what we are doing today. But that is why I'm making so many wheelchair blankets, just in memory of my dad. So anyhow, there's so many different places that you can donate to: women's shelters, homeless shelters, a number of different places. There are links on my link tree. I'm going to be donating to Sabre Healthcare. Is kind of where they're part of Warm Up America. So the last row is purple. And Leah said, Gosh, I love your heart. I think in general, fiber artists, knitters, crocheters, quilters, I think we all have a big heart. We all are looking to maybe brighten somebody's day. Maybe you make an amigurumi and give it to a child and they get excited about it. I know Leah's been making that on her live, but it's just a little way. We've made soap sacks, we've made a number of different projects on the live. And I guess my point is, I don't think it's just me. I think in general, this group of friends and in general, fiber artists, knitters, crocheters, embroiderers, quilters, whatever you want to call it, um, are really, they have big hearts, I think. Let's see. I love the idea of donating in honor of the person who taught you to crochet. Yeah, that is a good idea too. That is a good idea. So very cool. We have a thoughtful group and we have a wonderful group of friends. So, guys, this is the last round of the live today. I hope you all have had fun. If you are hanging out on the FYP, now is your shot to come on in, say hello, give a follow, you're going to be sad if you can't find me again. So I will be back on tomorrow on the live at 7:30 Central Time. And if you are new to my page, my name is April. I am so appreciative of all of the new followers today. We've had a number of new friends stop by, and that's always very exciting to expand our group of fabulous folks here. And thanks so much to all of our wonderful OGs who are here all the time, that help me with the live, to help answer questions and just participate and share the crochet love, if you will. But I hope you guys have all had a great day. A special shout out, thank you to all of the subscribers. I think we had some new subscribers here on the live this morning on TikTok. And so that's always exciting as well. And a round of applause for our moderators. They have done a fabulous job today. Guys, I will tell you, making all these polls is really, really hard. Really, really hard. They have done so, so great with all of us, especially with us teasing them this morning. So thanks for surviving the pressure there, gals. Appreciate it. Best mods on TikTok, Karina. Absolutely right. Jennifer said, I can finally use this. There you go, Jennifer. Best mods. Queen 530 says, best mods. Round of applause. You guys are amazing. But again, it's each and every one of you that show up every day. So tomorrow I am putting a ruffle border on a wheelchair blanket. It's a beautiful red burgundy wine colored blanket. I will be live on TikTok and on YouTube. So 7:30 Central. I hope you are able to stop by and say hi and have a little coffee and crochet chat with us. On Thursday, I'm going to be working on a new cardigan. I have made half of it. If you want to sneak over to YouTube, you can see a picture of it. If you want to join on the Discord, I've shared some pictures on the Discord as well. So you could certainly do that. Yes, it's kind of a lap blanket. I'm going to sew all these squares together. I'll almost definitely be joining these on the live at some point, and you'll be able to see all of our hard work come together. But with that, I'm going to be hopping off today. I hope you guys all have a terrific Tuesday. Thank you so much for hanging out and having fun with me, for laughing at ourselves and chuckling and just making it a wonderful day. I hope to see you guys all tomorrow. Bye for now.